Okay, well, we are back today with the continuation of the Clairton job that we were doing last time. The local crew had done their work to help the road crew get the train ready, with one minor exception, which was the PPG Industries. And after having a conversation with the yardmaster and the plant manager over at PPG, they will get switched upon this train's return. So what we're going to do is we're going to follow this train over to Duquesne, where it's going to drop the train off, pick up a new train, and head back, and then do its further switching. And once it's dropped off and they leave, we will grab onto the local crew at Duquesne Yard and we will watch them switch this cut out. That should pretty much take up enough time for everybody. So let's get this crew out of here. We're going to do some run-bys just to add a little bit of time to the video. So grab a coffee and enjoy the ride. So our first obstacle upon leaving Clairton or leaving Irvine, because they meet here at the Diamond, is that stop sign, which is treated like just a regular automotive stop sign, but for the trains. And the crew will pull up to the stop sign, and they will check for opposing traffic. If there is none, they'll call on the radio, make sure nobody has any opposing traffic coming, and if everything's clear, off we go. The Diamond is 5 miles an hour in any direction, which is a special instruction that the crews will adhere to. And once the head end has cleared the Diamond, we can kill the bell, so we're not selling ice cream. The 5 mile an hour restriction is for the entire train, not just the head end. It adds to the runtime of the job. It takes a little while to get a train of this size over the Diamond. And once you clear the Diamond, you make notification to the other crews that you are clear, and that way if they need to use the Diamond, they can. Once we clear the Diamond, we can pick it back up to a regular speed, which on this railroad is about a scale 20 mile an hour, which pretty much keeps things in check and makes for a nice easy run. So we'll take another look at this particular scenario here. This is just another angle of the same train leaving the stop sign and going over the Diamond. You can see how tight that curve is coming out of Irvine. It's actually a 15-degree curve, which is one of the main reasons why we have a 5 mile an hour restriction on it. A lot of cars just kind of have a difficult time traversing a curve that tight. But we manage. We make it happen. We're heading on out to the southbound main, which we were traveling in the northbound direction, but on the southbound main. And once we get to Duquesne, we will drop this whole train on the southbound main, and we'll cut the power off, grab our train out of the yard, grab our caboose, and head back. And after they leave, we'll follow the yard crew and watch them switch this particular train out. It looks to me like there's quite a few cars that need to be switched for different destinations. So we'll go do that next. And once the rear end clears the diamond and the engineer can give it a couple more notches, yeah, they'll stretch their legs a little bit. Not a whole lot, but they'll stretch their legs a little bit and get up to a little bit of track speed. So every once in a while, it's kind of nice to clear out the stacks. And we're now approaching Grant Avenue. And this is our approach to Duquesne Yard. And once we get in here, we get to clear the crossovers, we will talk to the yard master and see how they want us to handle the move. And they will try to expedite us out of here, I'm quite sure. They don't like trains hanging around. They like to keep the freight moving. So we'll pull down and we'll get in the clear of the short crossovers. And hopefully that's enough space for us to cut our train off so we can grab our outbound train, grab our caboose, and make our way back to Clairton. And according to the yard master, we did clear on the southbound lead, and he has 2 tracks for us to pull. We're pulling number 4 track and we're pulling number 6 track. So we're going to leave out of here with quite a number of cars, which is going to make for a lot of switching back at Clairton. But this is what we have to do. This is how it works. So we will accommodate them as best we can. So let's grab number 4 track first, and then we'll double to 6. So our crew has a hold of 4 track now, and they've done their air test on this cut of cars. So we're going to go ahead and let them pull on out and double to 6, which is where you see that Maryland Midland hopper on the right. That'll be the rear of the train. And then this whole cut is going to go out and grab the caboose and go back to Clairton, and we'll let the yard crew start working on the inbound train. And that should do to clear the switch. And let's get these guys coupled up. And after grabbing a coffee for the crew, the Clairton Job heads on out and heads back for Clairton. We've got 20 cars in tow, and that'll keep them busy the rest of the day. And it looks like they got quite a bit of scrap in tow, which is okay because that will help feed the furnaces. So we will say goodbye to them And we're going to grab a little lunch here, and then we'll be back to see the yard crew do their work on the inbound cut of cars. Back in a bit. Alright, so we are back from lunch and a cup of coffee, and that gave the yard master time to record the inbound cars that came in off of the Clairton Job and give us a new switch list. And what we thought was going to be difficult is actually going to be pretty easy. I'll show you the list here that we have made up. Let's get that puppy in focus. There we go. This is actually a Union Railroad switch list that was used by the company. Same exact form. And the number 1 position is the furthest north car. And the direction we're looking at here, if we look at the yard, is northbound. So the very first car we're going to be switching is going to be that C&EI car, that 82009 up top. And that whole block right there of the first 7 cars, they all go to Kenny Yard, which is the destination listed here as KN. So those are all blocked together, and then down below you see the cut that's listed for ET, which is Edgar Thompson, which is the blast furnace, and Braddock. So we only actually have to make 2 set-offs, and that'll be pretty much it until the next train comes in for the yard job. So let's get them started, and we'll get this yard job working, get these cars switched out, and we'll call it a day. We get a good day to knock off early. So let's do that now. And the crew heads up the ladder and down the northbound, or I'm sorry, the northbound main, and heads down to the short crossovers, and they'll couple onto the other end of these cars, pull them back out on the northbound, and then start shoving them off into the yard. And the yard crews come over the short crossovers and coming back to couple up to this cut of cars. The conductor did check his list on the way up to make sure that what's on the list is what they have. And I don't think we made the coupling, so let's take a look. Nope. And it doesn't surprise me. How often does this happen when we're making videos, right? So the giant chopstick makes an appearance. We get things lined up, and we'll come back into them again. No, go the other way, Johnson. Go the other way. There you go. Did you make that one? Nope. You moved the coupler too far over. Of course you did. Alright, this time we're going to go in close quarters here and get this done right. Let's try it again. I am not having a good day. What is wrong with me today? Must be foul weather or something. I don't know. One more time. I believe we got it that time, but we're going to check. There we go. Now we got her. All right, let's get some air in this thing, knock some brakes off, and get the conductor up around the crossover switches to get us lined back into the yard, and we'll start putting this puppy away. Now the yard master gave us a good yard list, so we know that 6 is clear, and 6 will hold 13 cars on this end, and we're only putting 7 in, so we know we have plenty of room. So we'll just get this first cut shoved into 6, and then we'll cut away, and the rest go into 2. Since the yard crew came out of 2, they know there's only 1 car in there with coke in it, and that's why the rest of the coke is going to go on top of that. And that'll later go over to the Edgar Thompson plant and be fed into the blast furnace. And they'll come back as empties in a couple of days, and then they'll go back to Clairton and they'll get put back in loaded and brought back out and go back to ET, and that cycle will continue as it has been for over 100 years. And that puts them in the clear. So let's go ahead and make the cut, tie a brake on or two, and we'll go ahead and put these coke cars out of the way. Back into 2 with them, and then we'll pretty much shut everything down. That'll pretty much be it for the day. The next train isn't due in for a couple of hours, so this yard crew is going to get a break, and they're getting an early quit today. I'm sure they're very happy about. Sorry about the giant arm there. And they're going to go in against that coke car on 2. Which we'll get a little better view of here. There it is. There's the coke car on 2. We get these cars in there. About a half a car to the hook. That should do it. And we're going to shove them on in. Got plenty of room in there to hold this entire consist, so we're just going to shove the whole thing back in there, tie it down, and call it a day. Sometimes the yard crews get lucky. They don't necessarily have to sit there and beat themselves to death switching all day. Sometimes things come in order, and it works out well for them. Most times it doesn't, but sometimes it does. So that's it for this one. The next video should be an operating session where we break down the train that went into Clairton, and the Irvin job will run. Plus the local's going to run because we got a whole local train sitting there on 3-track, and hopefully that will make for a fun day. So we'll see you next time.